Hello and welcome back, Rock here. Today we're going to do something a little different. In my previous episode of Infernal Skies, I mentioned that I was playing Diablo 3 and that I might put out some videos, if I get geared enough and I can do some Inferno bosses. Well, today I'd like to put out the first video for those. I recently got some good gear and I'm finally able to do some Inferno Butcher, so I'm gonna give it a go and see if I can get it on camera or on Fraps, and let you guys see that. For my skills and my stats, I'll show those after I go for the run. But let's give it a go now. Let's see how well this goes. I'll skip this real quick. So, in general, the Butcher is a fairly easy boss to fight, assuming you have the stats to fight him. He's got a very few mechanics, but once you know the mechanics, it's pretty easy to work around. So he's got this little jump dancey thing, which I'm sure he'll do in a second. Yeah, there it is. When he does that, he's preparing for a large slam, so that's usually your backup, and you don't have to worry too much about that. When he does that, he charges. So when he shoots out his red line, that's the direction he's going to be charging, and so it's a good idea to GTFO and get out of the way of that. Other than that, that's really the only threatening things that he has. The only other thing you have to prepare for is the flames on the floor. Those things you have to be really careful for, because fire damage can do a lot of damage. So I'm just gonna jump out of the way here. Other than that, that's really it. His hook, we don't really have to worry too much about. It's this slam and the run, which we just experienced right there. So let's give this another go. I feel kind of ashamed dying like that, but yeah, it happens. You can't predict everything. So let's give this a second try. Should be a bit better this time. Well, here we go. So we'll get in here. We'll get our battle shout going. Come on, dodges a clear. Nope. Because he juked us. We'll move out of the way of his charge. Yeah, there we go. Leap out of the way of his cleaver. It's mostly, at least for Barbarians, you're mostly kind of just auto-attacking most of the time and just shifting your position to dodge things. So you'll shift out of the way to dodge that, shift out of the way to dodge fire, shift out of the way to dodge his charge. It's not really much. Probably for Barbarians and Monks, this fight is pretty easy. Wizards might have a harder time because of their Wizards and Witch Doctors might have a harder time, and Demon Hunters because they're fairly squishy. Whereas Barbarians and Monks are fairly tanky. So just keep beating him down. When he gets to about 25% health, we're gonna pop our Wrath of the Berserker, and we'll just burn him down right there. One thing luckily we're not going to have to worry about, because we have a good amount of damage, is him enraging. When he enrages, it really is hard to beat him, especially alone. Luckily he was kind enough to pull us to him. We're just going to pop our Wrath of Berserker and burn him down right here. And burn him down. And there we go. There we have a Inferno Butcher solo Barbarian run. So let's grab our loot. Unfortunately, it wasn't as good as it could have been. We only had one stack of Nephilim Valor. I had crashed Diablo 3 right before I was about to record with 5 stacks, and so I had to resume game with no stacks, and I was able to get one more rare pack before I started. So let's take a look at what we got. Probably nothing that good. It doesn't look like anything of outstanding. So let's look at our stats real quick. So without our Enchantress, we have about 16.8k base damage, 5.2k base armor, and 212 plus base resistances. With our Warcry, our resistances jump up to about 318 plus for all of our stats. 1500 strength, 600 vitality ish or so. For my skills that I'm running, this is actually probably my favorite skill set that I've used so far. It's very versatile, and it works really well for soloing. You have a lot of defense, you have a lot of offense, and you have a lot of survivability. So we'll go down and we'll just look at all the abilities. First, we start out with Frenzy, getting the Maniac Rune, giving us increased damage for each additional attack. Our Wrath of Berserker holds the Insanity Rune, which gives us 100% additional damage. Our Revenge gives us, we're using the Proclamation or Provocation rune, which just increases the chance that Revenge will proc whenever we're hit. Leap, we have Iron Impact, gaining us 300% additional armor for 4 seconds. Warcry, we use Impunity. All of our resistances are increased by 50% while it's active. Ignore Pain, we use Iron Hide to increase the duration to 7 seconds. And as for our passives, we use Pound of Flesh, which increases our chance of getting health globes, as well as increases the health globe heal. Tough as Nails for the increased armor by 25%, and the Nerves of Steel, which increases our armor by 100% of our 100% of our vitality. With this kind of setup, like I said, it gives us a lot of tankiness. It gives us a lot of damage, and allows us to more or less solo Inferno. One thing I'd like to point out is Pound of Flesh is actually a lot better than you might think it is just by looking at it. You might think it is just by looking at it. If you're in a party, Pound of Flesh isn't as great, but as a solo Barbarian, Pound of Flesh is probably one of your best passives, and you should almost always have it, at least when you're doing Inferno. Since you don't really have much heals, the only heals we have is our Revenge, which is based off of chance, and our potions work very dependent on getting health globes, as well as our chance on Revenge. So Pound of Flesh actually helps out a lot more than you'd think. But with that, that's a solo Inferno Butcher run with a Barbarian. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll probably make another video for Diablo 3 once I get geared up and I'm able to do Belial, or I might do an update at some point, or just play around and record and do some commentary if you guys are interested. But give me some. Let me know what you think. If you want to see more of this, if you have any feedback, or just in general what you would like to see. This isn't a replacement for Monumental Victory. This will come out at the same. They'll come out the same day as Monumental Victory for the Infernal Skies. So it'll be more of an addition. But with that, I'm going to like to say thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.